But I've got short arms as well, so I'm sort of. But you've also got to bear in mind the actual size of the. There's no point using the technique if it's not going to marry up. So you've got to find it, and it gives you a bit more flexibility if you've got a small graft wood, because you can graft it a bit higher up from there. Obviously, put your label on first, label that, says the name, Autumn for Maine, M106. If you want to be really anal, you can write it on there as well, because sometimes it breaks off there, but you've got a little bit left on the end, so you can do that. Next technique is to go up there, so you're roughly looking from arm to elbow, but I'm looking also at the rootstock size, so I'm looking around sort of that as the minimum sort of size for that one. From there, take the end bit off again because it's going to be dried out, so we've got a little bit of damage on that one. That's fine. So we can, and again, as Marcus said, you're looking for a nice flat area on there as well, so we go from about there. I do one slightly different, so I actually pull myself towards me, and people think I'm going to kill myself.
Big suicider.
Big suicider. I've never killed myself yet, but you do sometimes take a bit off the end of your jacket, so you want to use an old jacket. Again, you want to get your knife in it at 45 degrees. The bigger it is, the more leverage you've got to do, so you want a straight arm as well from that. You're imagining you're sort of rowing, and I'm just literally pulling it off at 45 degrees, and then just getting the angle down from there. Again, you're looking for a reasonable length. You could go a bit longer than that if you want to. You can go up to sort of 4 or 5 times, but I'm just going to go from that side to show the flexibility from there. Again, you're going to get a bit on here. That's already got a bit that's come off of here, so I'm going to take that one off and look at that length from there. It's about that. Right. What you're after is thinness, so it comes down, and also compatibility for size. So then I need to sort of measure those up and see if they're going across. And they are roughly the sizes right.
So notice that Andy did it in 3 passes. That's conventionally what people do. I mean, I was slightly misleading in that I just did it in 1 cut, but most of you might want to do 1, 2, and then a final 3rd cut. You might find it easier doing that.
So you can see that if you put those together, a little bit of pressure, without the pressure there's a slight gap on it, but if it's bendy enough, if you put a little bit of pressure, it's gone. It's actually, you can't see the light through there at all, really. And what you do now is, where you've got the 2 together measured up, you actually put a line. This is the way I was taught to do it. You put a line down the middle. Okay, so you know where the middle is. So you're making a little notch across there, and then you put this like a sergeant major under your arm. Put your thumb underneath. This is where people can lose their thumb if they don't know what to do. And that's where you want a sharp knife. And now you're going to, I call it wibbling, because you're literally going to come down at an angle just underneath, and you're going down sort of to the length of the knife. And this is where you need a reasonably sharp knife, or you know what you're doing with your knife, because it could slip and go through. But I don't cut myself very often. So, and again, you do that. You have to turn this one around, obviously the opposite way, and stick that round your arm again, and you repeat the same process. So you're looking for your notch, and you want to go above that this time. Going in between the notch and to the end, I go about halfway in between normally. And let's check that's locked actually. It's locked. And again, you're going to do this sort of wibbling motion where you're not actually pushing the knife in. Okay, that's the key thing. You're actually working the knife. You're actually rocking it from side to side. Because if you're actually going to push it, that's where you're going to go straight through the wood, and you might end up taking your thumb out at the same time. Right. So then you've got your 2 bits, and they've got a little tongue in each of those. Again, Marcus does it. It's better now to actually take off. You don't want this excess. It's extra weight there. So you count up the amount of buds. That's going to be covered over. So you're looking 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 buds up from there. Go above your bud. And actually, I should check that bit on the floor as well. That's the thing you want to do, because otherwise you get confused. Always check the bit on the floor, and it goes up, because you can graft a rootstock otherwise. I'm back onto a rootstock. I'm sure I've done it once before. Actually, this needs to go down a little bit more. I haven't grafted it far enough actually on that one. But that's the idea behind that. That's got 2. Marcus talks about in a little church window. I think that's too much of one where you have a little bit above. So I'm just going to take that off and go down a little bit more. But that's the theory behind it anyway. We've actually got it combined again by doing the thing. But like I said, that's my first one. I'm going to actually go down a little bit more on this one to make it go further down the rootstock, and on this one.
Just to get a feel for like how far along the slice you're going to put those grooves in, Can I get you guys to maybe draw like how you'll do the cuts? Do you know what I mean? Just so I can kind of visualize it.
Maybe we could pass one